Live from the Acres Broadcast Center inside East Stadium, this is the Husker Athletic Director Show with Trev Alberts.
Two to the near side, one to the far side. Turn, give it off to Grant. He picks his way inside the 45, bounces to the outside, 40, 35, 30, foot race now, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Snap back to Van Treese, play actions. Gets hit as he throws, pass headed down the end zone. Buford goes up and makes the interception at the 1 yard line. Marquise Buford's second pick of the game, and it was created by some pressure on the quarterback Van Treese.
Red, fed left, Lindsay gets a throw. They stayed with it, and Krause muscles it through a double Buckeye block. Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, big red, kaboom.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our first sit down with the athletic director for the Cornhuskers for the 2023-24 school year. We've taken a few months off, and I'm trying to figure out just what to talk to you about. This hasn't been a whole lot going. Tongue in cheek, firmly planted in my cheek. How are you? Let's start with that. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Things are going well in spite of some of the chaos around us. We're steady, moving forward, and working hard as a team. Good things ahead of us. A lot of momentum. Yeah.
So much to talk to you about this because there's so much that has happened across the landscape of college sports in the last couple of months. Let's start with the most recent news, and that was the announcement that certainly caught me off guard yesterday that Ted Carter is moving on to Ohio State. Just your thoughts and reaction to that.
Well, I think obviously we're disappointed. When you have a good leader and someone that you work really well with, it's challenging. But we understand how the world works, right? I mean, leaders are given opportunities. They're put in front of people all the time, and sometimes decisions have to be made in the best interest of the family. But I really appreciated Ted Carter. I think I've been well on the record. One of the reasons why I'm here is because I really enjoyed working with Ted, and Ted was really good to me, and Linda was really good to my wife, Angie. And so Ted did a lot of good things for the University of Nebraska, and so we'll miss him. We'll wish him well, and we'll look forward to competing as hard as we can against him as an Ohio State Buckeye.
He will stay on through this calendar year and then be going, so the search will begin soon for that. And then I told you before we went on the air, I had a chance yesterday for the first time to meet the new chancellor, Rodney Bennett. Tall fella. He's a pretty good-sized guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Dr. Bennett's a good guy. I've known him for a couple of years, and he's going to do a really good job leading this campus. And I really appreciated both he and President Carter. We had our, beginning of the year student-athlete meeting, and we had all of our student-athletes together over at the Devaney Center the night before class started, and they both came over as well as our FAR, Dr. Scott Fuse. And so just really important to send a strong message about the support from the campus leadership to the athletic department. We feel it. It's important. And so it's great to have Dr. Bennett here. He's got his work cut out for him, too, as we all do. But,
yeah.
It's a great time to be a part of Nebraska and Nebraska athletics.
Very good. I looked through my emails today preparing for the show tonight, and on June the 8th, the Big Ten Conference rolled out their 2024-2025 football schedules.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can crimple that up and throw it away because we've added some members to the league. How about that? Adding Washington and Oregon now to the fray.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Big Ten Conference continues to evolve in a way that competitively is going to be very challenging for all of our teams. But in the end, I think in a very positive way. I'm looking forward to competing against Oregon and Washington. And maybe our coaches have a little different perspective, obviously, but strength of schedule, those kinds of things are significantly impacted. But, I think, as you mentioned, scheduling, we worked like 9 months on those football schedules and creating the basic parameters around and the philosophy and values that we were going to approach scheduling with. And talking to the Big Ten and being on the AD calls, it looks like, while obviously there's going to be some changes when you add 2 more teams, I really don't think they're going to be dramatically and significantly different than what's already been communicated. Obviously, there's going to be some changes. But I think many of the key fundamental things that drove our philosophy and decision-making that got us to those schedules are going to carry moving forward. And, of course, this has been talked about a lot, but way back originally when all of these contracts were signed with Fox, each institution, I think it was back in 2013, had to put their, quote, tolerances relative to home games, away games, primetime games, Friday night games. And so all those tolerances live on to this day. And can't be changed. And so that drives a lot of it. So we'll see where it ends up. But clearly we're going to have some powerful brands that enter our stadium in all of our sports. And I think it'll be exciting for our student athletes, be exciting for our fans, and as we continue navigating through the shifting landscape of intercollegiate athletics.
18 teams is what the league will be at with the addition of those two. Two-part question. One, do you envision divisions at all coming back with that big of a patch? And two, have they started working on putting together a football schedule for 2024 yet?
We have started working on a football schedule. I'm going to be very careful here because I don't believe, that divisions are going to come back.
Okay.
I think at this point divisions are going to go away. I do think that as you look at scheduling, there's going to be a lot of things that enter into it. It's not just football, obviously, as well, but missed class time, those types of things. How do we do it in a way, that still creates as much competitive equity as we possibly can? How many trips to the West Coast, do teams from the East Coast, are they required to make? So, we're going to work hard on it. But at the end of the day, what's really happening, Greg, and we've talked a little bit about this, but what's really happening is that, the business model of the media companies has been disrupted. I mean, at the end, we all lived through this cable bundle package for years. It's what helped build the Big Ten network. It's what helped build the membership previously. And so as, the way live sporting events are consumed and how they're distributed changes, and now we're moving into a streaming model. And at this point, nobody's found a strategy around bundling streaming. I mean, ESPN Plus and Disney Plus and Hulu, it's been tried. And so as dollars become scarcer, you're going to see shifts in how alignment looks and essentially some contraction. So, it doesn't mean it's going to be tomorrow. The reality is a lot of these deals that were built on, for the next 5 or 6 years. From my seat, the vulnerabilities exist for some in that it's go time, right? We can't fiddle a foul around anymore. We've got to win football games. We've got to work really hard as an institution on things like the AAU and academic profile, because in the end, as you move into a streaming model, Greg, I really think the data and analytics surrounding what your brand value is becomes more amplified, and it'll become clearer. And so we've got work to do, and we're going to do it. We've got the right coach in football to help us get there, and Coach Rule. I think we're in a good position, but I think lethargy cannot be part of what describes the Husker Athletic Department going forward.
Bigger picture, I was in Indianapolis, Big Ten Media Day, saw you there. Also saw an old friend of ours in Bill Hancock, who is stepping down as the head of the college football playoff. It's going to grow to 12, but now some conferences that were going to get automatic bids are no longer around because of the Pac-12 breakup. Where does it stand with that, and are there discussions going on about the future of the playoff?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a key and core, philosophical, and I would always also say perhaps strategic part of the thinking relative to expansion. There's a lot of a very important business to deal with. I mean, most people don't understand that the college football playoff, there's funding and subsidization that happens across the board that actually goes not just to FBS schools, it goes to Division I AA. And so I think you'll see an awful lot of effort to rethink how the revenues are distributed based on what the new structure looks like and the new conference structure looks like.
Wow. I don't know how you keep up with it. Just constantly changing. That was a wild, I think it was a Friday about 3 weeks ago when all this kind of fell into place. Crazy.
Well, I will say this, Greg, and I can only submit that we're going to work as hard as we possibly can. I can't do this without the executive leadership team we have here and people like you and others in this athletic department. We have a great team here, and it allows me to be focused on some of these larger picture items. We've got great donor base. We've got people, in Nebraska, when we have these challenges, we don't just lament them. We define them, we create a group, we go to work, and we try to do the best that we can to position this place, to be able to move forward appropriately. And so I'm confident in that. We're going to be okay. But the point is, we need to be honest with ourselves about what some of these shifting landscapes look like and how, I feel like my job is to do the best that we can to position Nebraska to be a winner as this thing whole emerges. And there's a lot of components to that, and I think the right people understand it and are bought in. But we got work to do.
Does that include the commissioner? Your thoughts on Tony Petitti's first several months on the job? He's been thrown right into the fire in this whole thing.
Tony's done a great job. You know, the thing that I really appreciate about Tony is there's constant and consistent communication. And what I like about Tony is, you know, and this is not to mean that past leadership didn't do that. I don't mean that. Yeah. But when Tony tells me something's going to happen, I can count on it. His word is good. I think he knows what he's doing. He understands the shifting. He understands media. He understands distribution. You know, I mean, I don't want to get, you know, too far here, but the reality is, you know, you think about, there's literally 150 million people that watch the NFL. There's 120 that watch college football. That's not a huge difference. And yet the NFL commands $12 billion from their media partners, and we get $5 billion. Why is that? We have fragmentation in our negotiating power because of the conferences. So
right.
as revenue gets scarcer, I think you're going to see more consolidation, which again helps at negotiating better business deals for your partners.
Good to hear you have confidence in Tony. That's a good thing. All right, move it. You mentioned great donors, great support of the program. That's evidence now because we got a great video earlier this week of the team able for the first time to go in and see their new locker room. What a fantastic moment that must have been.
Well, first, I really want to thank our donors again. You know, sometimes I live for those smiles on young men and young women's faces. I mean, that's why we do what we do, right? You're here to change their experience and to give them resources to allow them to really grow as an athlete and as a student. And it was pretty cool to have that unveiling. And so I first want to say thank you to our donors. I also want to say thank you. There's a lot of people working literally day and night on that project. And so all of our partners, you know, Rainwood Development Corp, Houseman, everybody, our internal facilities folks that are, you know, and the patience that Coach Rule and his staff are exemplifying by allowing us to get into those spaces that are finished. And so we really wanted to do it in a way that was not disrupted for football. We were able to get that done as camp broke. And now we'll keep working on this. And as I said previously, really hopeful that by the end of the calendar year, we can have it open for all the student athletes, the training table, athletic medicine, you know, academic support, all that kind of stuff.
Well, a couple of the players even said, I think it was Billy Kemp they had on one of the videos said, thank you to everybody who did this. That warms your heart to see a student athlete realize there was a lot of sweat that went into putting that building together.
Well, you know, it was a great vision. And I think the other thing, and we've talked about this a little bit, but in this changing and shifting, I really don't think you're going to read about too many more, if any, schools like us who announce a $165 million facility like this because of the shifting landscape, you know, aggregated revenues that are going directly to students now. The resources aren't going to be there. So I've always believed that the University of Nebraska is as well positioned as anybody to weather this storm. We've got this world-class facility. We have our fan base. We're the only athletic department in the Big Ten with no debt. We can emerge out of this stronger and better than we've ever been before, but it'll take all of us coming together, and that's the Nebraska way.
Very good. Folks, buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're having some phone issues, but our text line is working. If you want to fire off something for Trev, we can get through those as we move through the hour. 402-413-2400 is that number to fire off a text. Still a lot more to get to. Trev mentioned about all the amenities for the student athletes to take care of them and all that. When we come back, Trev's got an announcement to make about how we're even upgrading that, the ability to take care and great care of our student athletes. We'll get into that coming up next.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln for a free insurance review.
Hey, Husker fans! Kinetic now offers fast 99% reliable internet for just $39.99 a month for 12 months. Whether you're at home, school, or work, Kinetic Internet delivers the speed you need to stream, game, and stay connected with fellow Nebraska fans around the world. Only $39.99 a month for 12 months. And just like our teams in Scarlet and Cream, no one else even comes close. Check availability at windstream.com. Kinetic Internet, proud sponsor of Husker Athletics. Terms and conditions apply. Only in Nebraska will you find a historic, record-breaking event like Nebraska Volleyball Day to honor women's athletics. The University of Nebraska Foundation invites you to be a part of Only in Nebraska, a campaign for our university's future. Another historic, record-breaking effort to engage 150,000 donors to build the future Nebraska needs right now. It's all possible, and it's all happening here, only in Nebraska. Give to support NU at onlyinnebraska.org.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Our planet, it's hungry. Blessed with millions of acres in this great nation, our farmers work tirelessly to feed the planet through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. It's a tough business to do alone. As owners of Central Valley Ag, it's together that we move forward. There's room at the table. Find your seat at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
Is your garbage disposal not disposing? You had one job. Drains backing up can cause a horrible smell in a home, damaged pipes, and so much more. Some signs that your garbage disposal may be going out include frequent clogs, abnormal and louder noises than normal, or water is leaking from the bottom, just to name a few. John Henry's is here to take care of all the pipes and drains in your home. Call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 7 or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 7 or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Back with our first athletic director's show of the new school year. Trev Albert's with us until the top of the hour. I led into that last break about the Go Big facility is coming along nicely. The locker room is now open. Last night, Coach Rural was here. He talked about there were some areas that he really wanted to add when he became the coach here for recovery process of all of that and taking care of those student athletes. And you're here to talk about kind of an overall commitment to the well-being of the athletes with a new partnership with Nebraska Medicine. What's this about? Well, lay this out for us.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we're really excited about this. And this is a long time coming and probably should have been done about 25 years ago. But we're really excited. You know, and Coach Rule talks a lot about the health and safety of student athletes, and it's something we've been working on in our athletic department as well. So working with Dr. Jeff Gold, so UNMC and Nebraska Medicine are going to be the new partners and in essentially responsible for the overall health and welfare of all of our student athletes. Okay, so a fairly significant and major change. And ultimately at UNMC and Nebraska Medicine, there's a chief medical officer. It's Dr. Harris Frankel. And so what will end up happening is we're going to have Ross Mathieson, who's our chief medical director, who will report to the chief medical officer of Nebraska Medicine and UNMC. We're then going to have 4 rotating doctors that are family doctors for coverage. We're going to have a clinic. We'll also have 2 additional family doctors that have a sports science background. And so we're going to be spending significantly more dollars in this area. But it's really important for me that we are doing everything we can to do the following for our student athletes. Number one, we need patient choice. It's 2023. We have female doctors. We're going to have, you know, Janet Sellen, former Janet Cruz, former player, is one of our doctors. We're really excited about that. I also want to thank Dr. Rodney Markin. So Dr. Markin's been a good friend of mine for a long time, back in my days at UNO, and we started dreaming about this and how could we find a way. You know, we've got this world-class medical center in Omaha, Nebraska, and we're the flagship institution. We need them helping ensure that our student athletes are getting the best possible care. And so a couple things is, first and foremost, patient care. Secondly, we're going to have EMR, electronic medical records, which is really important. We get to just jump on their Epic system, which this is probably too much information for some people. Risk management's a really important thing, right? There's people that need to be accountable and responsible. I'll give you an example. With all of the heat that's out there right now, Ross Mathieson sends a very detailed approach on how we should handle hydration. How do we handle heat exhaustion? So you're going to probably not notice a significant difference as a fan, but I think it's really important, number one, that people know that this athletic department is partnering with a very important and valued member of the university, UNMC and Nebraska Medicine, and I feel really good that our student athletes are going to receive elite care. It doesn't mean they weren't getting elite care before, but we're going to invest whatever we possibly can to ensure that our student athletes are having the highest and best possible health care as their students here at Nebraska.
Makes perfect sense when you have that world-class system in the same system as this school, that they should be working together. It's one of those things that people go, yeah, well, why hasn't that been happening? So,
well, most Big Ten schools, right, their medical center is attached to their flagship university. And so what's a little bit different here is we got a 45-mile distance and separation. And I think we just realized that this was important enough that we can find a way, you know, to deal with that. I should also point out that our partners in the ortho space aren't changing. So at this point, and so we're really proud to continue that partnership as well. So just some changes there. Again, I think we're adding to the firepower, and I'm just really grateful to Dr. Gold, to Dr. Markin, and Harris Frankel, Ross Mathieson, and all of those associated. And Marquita Armstead, our senior women's administrator, has really helped to lead the charge here in getting this thing figured out. So we've got more work to do, right? There's more challenges, but we've been working on this for 9 months.
How much more space, Trev, is going to be in the new building for the training facilities compared to what currently exists in North Stadium?
Well, it's significant. So it's really not just the added space in the Go Big project, right, which is probably double, if not triple. The reality then is you open up the backfill opportunity where it currently resides. And so you really are adding that additional space, but then you're adding significant more, which can be repurposed to support the rest of the student athletes. So, you know, our objective and goal is that this is the place in the country that serves student athletes in every single component of their experience at the highest level possible, and I think this helps us achieve that.
Text question for you. Andy in Phoenix says, Trev, what's the next big project around Memorial Stadium now that the football facility is wrapping up?
Well, the next big project is the stadium itself, obviously, and so we've talked a little bit about that. We're still going in front of the Board of Regents October 5th. That's a public meeting, and we're hoping at that point to be able to unveil some plans relative to Memorial Stadium, some modernization as we've talked about, and quite frankly, some opportunities for us to, entrepreneurially find new revenue streams, create new ways to think differently, just like. And I'm sure we'll talk about Volleyball Day in Nebraska, but the reality is this is an incredible asset to the state of Nebraska, and it can't be used just 7 times on a Saturday a year. We've got to activate this thing more, get students involved, community involvement, community engagement, and I think we can do that with a renewed vision around how do we activate Memorial Stadium differently.
Very good. Doug in Nebraska says, Trev, you referenced the AAU. How important to our future is it to rejoin that prestigious academic group?
Well, I think it is important. I think as you look at overall brand value of an institution, I think you can overstate its importance and you can probably understate its importance. So I think at the University of Nebraska, we want to be winners at everything. And so this is an important, indicator of overall academic programming success. I think some of the reasons why we aren't in there are kind of self-inflicted. So I think you'll see, continued efforts to do things like connecting the Med Center to UNL in a way. There's a lot of research dollars that, if tied appropriately, can change the profile. So I know that was something that President Carter was really passionate about and is continuing to work to try to set up. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, academic profile, AAU status, success of the football, all of those contribute to the overall brand value. I think outdoor volleyball in Nebraska with 95,000 people, while wonderful, has a much larger implication going forward. That's important, and we're going to continue thinking that way, and I think we have to have a sense of urgency across the board at the University of Nebraska.
We're going to get to Volleyball Day. I'm holding it for the next segment here, but a couple more text questions for you. Tim in Kearney says, Travel, your thoughts on the single-digit numbers that Coach Rule is doing? He goes, you were 34 and Tommy Frazier was 15.
Well, I love what Matt's doing. At the end of the day, he and I have talked about, this is Matt's football program, and I'm going to do the best that I can to clear the path for him to build 2 things. Number one, a great culture, and to me, a great culture is one that has accountability and discipline. And finally, build toughness. We don't have to talk about wins and losses. And I promise you that a team over time that is disciplined, accountable, and tough, as we add requisite talent, will be successful. And Matt is laying, and his coaching staff are laying a very solid foundation for the future. And I think the single-digit component is part of that discipline, accountability, and toughness. And of course, I support that wholeheartedly.
Very good. Speaking of single digits, I think you're kind of down to that number of tickets left for the season, right? Are we close?
Yeah, once again, just want to really thank Husker Nation. It's obviously we're way ahead of where we've been in the past, and I think a lot of it has to do with the momentum that Coach Rule and his staff have done. And I give our, folks in the ticket office and marketing credit as well. Everybody's worked hard, but we can basically announce that we'll be sold out this year in football. I think we're under 1,000 tickets for, and that's only one game, and the rest of them are relatively already sold out. There's going to be tickets available. I don't mean that, but we won't have a problem being sold out for all home games again this year, first year in Matt Rule's era.
Fantastic. I did see, I think, a graphic today that student tickets have sold out for volleyball. Got to be close in football too, right?
Student tickets did sell out for football.
Great.
And so we're so grateful to our students. And I'll tell you, without getting too far ahead of myself, because I don't have approval from the Board of Regents, but part of our strategy and real thinking around Memorial Stadium is we need to do a better job of embracing our students. We need to make the student experience at Husker sporting events fantastic, and in particular in football. So as we're rethinking this and modernizing, I think you'll see a real effort, because our students are going to become alumni who are going to own businesses, who are ultimately going to buy suites, club seats, and make donations to the university. We need their experience while a student at Nebraska to be a really great one. And so we can do a better job of it, and we're going to.
Very good. Hey, folks, Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Trev has referenced it. We got a little volleyball match coming up here in the football stadium 1 week from tonight. We'll have some details that you're going to want to know about. And we'll talk volleyball next.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Hi, this is Jim Baldonado with the Home Agency. Just like our support and enthusiasm for Husker athletics, our multi-line insurance agencies are ready and eager to help you with your insurance needs. Don't wait for disaster to test your insurance coverage. Get ahead of the game and let our agents provide you with the peace of mind knowing that your needs will be met. For more information, call home, the home agency, that is at 1-800-245-4241. That's 1-800-245-4241. Go Big Red.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Calling all Husker fans. Woodhouse Auto Family is thrilled to be a sponsor of Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And to share the excitement, we're giving you a chance to win tickets. As the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics, Woodhouse takes great pride in supporting the Huskers and the passionate Nebraska fan base. And we want to see you in the Sea of Red at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. To enter for a chance to win tickets to the event and learn more, visit woodhouse.com today.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Welcome back. It's our Athletic Directors Show, brought to you by Woodhouse. The Woodhouse Auto family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales, and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe along with the Huskers Athletic Director Trev Alberts. Again, our phones are down tonight, but you can fire off some texts, 402-413-2400. Well, it's almost here. It began as kind of a pipe dream, and it's turned into a reality. You got a huge volleyball match 1 week from tonight here at Memorial Stadium.
Well, I first want to do is, and I'm not going to say names because you're going to forget somebody, but I just want to tip my hat to everybody in Husker Athletics who is working so hard to make this happen. I think Husker fans, if they knew the level of investment, passion, and detail that our team is trying to put into this is a monumental task, right? I want to thank our volleyball program for having the willingness to think differently and creatively as well as the other teams that are coming, but really, really excited about it. Our campus has been great. Everybody's working together. This is going to be very disruptive. I would continue to ask fans to give us a little grace and mercy. I think we have a good plan. I would really encourage people to go to Huskers.com. We've got a dedicated icon on there with all of the information about Volleyball Day in Nebraska, all of the details, lots that are available, parking that's available. We have 50 buses that we've rented to help transport people from various locations. We're going to do everything that we can to make this special. And by the way, I've checked the weather, and knock on wood, it's not 110, at least
right,
according to weather.com.
Yeah.
So we think it's going to be a special night, and I'm grateful to UNO and Wayne State and Kearney for their participation. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Question on the text line was, will the usual football food vendors be open inside the stadium for the volleyball day?
That is correct.
Okay.
You'll see that. And I think you'll actually see some additional vendors that perhaps you don't see at football because of the one-off event that will be sort of spread out throughout the stadium.
This started, how much arm twisting did you have to do with Coach Cook to have this happen?
Well, I mean, not a lot. John I like to have fun with John. John loves, dream bigger. And, dream bigger has to be consistent, not just on one-offs. And, he immediately, as every coach would do, started thinking about what could go wrong, which is right? Well, what about, how are we going to handle? But he immediately got there, and I think there was a little bit of hesitation about, how many people would come? But I think immediately when it got announced and you saw how many people, this is a really big event. People don't understand, our partner Adidas is bringing in a lot of their own national media. There are people from the New York Times. The benefit to the University of Nebraska and the exposure will be hard to define. The president of the NCAA, Charlie Baker, will be here in attendance, the commissioner of the Big Ten, the chief operating officer of the Big Ten, the governor, the mayor of Lincoln. This is going to be a celebration of volleyball in the state of Nebraska. This is a celebration of women's athletics. This is a celebration of 50 years of Title IX. This is I think this is a showcase for the fact that Nebraska has long invested in women's athletics, and this is a celebration of its success. I had a full rundown today of exactly how the show is going to go in terms of, and quite frankly, we are doing more and investing more than we do in a home football game. And I'm really excited about for our young women, and I think our fans are going to enjoy it too.
Again, Trev mentioned satellite parking around the city. Again, this is on the website, but Lincoln North Star High School, Lincoln Northwest, South Point Pavilion, Gateway Mall, free shuttles. As Trev mentioned, up to 50 buses, and they're going to start, all the information again is on the website at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, bringing people down here. You can park there, ride the Aero stage bus lines down here to the stadium. You don't have to worry about parking around. But you got full cooperation. The campus is closed that day, so no classes. Students probably like that. So the parking lots around here will be available for, which are normally for football days.
Well, campus is closed. There's still going to be instruction, and so you'll have some online instruction. But you would probably, in a perfect world, think about a different date. The weekends are so much easier. But obviously, as you're trying to think about football, when they're on the road, the volleyball schedule, when schedules are available, this is the date that we had to. So I am really grateful to our partners across campus. They've been really, really understanding, and I think everybody sees the benefit. And again, this is going to be a celebration of women's athletics. Our team's got a great plan, and I'm excited about watching them execute it.
Ranked 5th in the preseason poll, John must think he has a pretty good team.
Well, I was at the red-white scrimmage, and I told John, I said, this is going to be one of his hardest job coaching, and it isn't going to be coaching X's and O's. John has so much talent, Greg. And I will say, you watch the young talent that he's recruited. And that's the job as a coach, is to recruit talent and hopefully even better than what you got, right? But the young talents come in, and you can see some of the older players actually really progressing even more because they're being pushed. That's when you have a great culture, right? When nobody really feels comfortable, like this is my spot and I can't be, unseated. So I think he's got tremendous talent, young talent. I think managing everybody's expectations in playing time could be a challenge, but they got great character on the team, great athletes, great coaches, and I'm bullish on this fall. I'm excited about John Walker and our soccer program. I got a nice win against Baylor. Frankly, played extraordinarily well against Creighton. Got a little unlucky and got the draw there. I think football has a chance of really showing some progress. Cross country, our fall sports, and I think John has a chance to have a special year in volleyball, so I'm excited.
No seniors. Kind of bizarre, isn't it, for John's volleyball team?
Well, see, and all the coaches also had to deal with all of these COVID years and managing rosters like this, and so it wasn't always easy for John. I think he's managed it well, and by the way, next year we've got some fairly high-achieving student athletes coming into the volleyball program. So enjoy all this. I think sometimes, you think back to the early 90s in football. I don't like to do this a lot, but don't take for granted the run that Coach Cook and our volleyball program's on. Enjoy it. There's no guarantee of tomorrow that it'll still be here.
Absolutely. Doug in Norfolk says, a couple weeks ago, Trev, I heard that the academic All-American standards is changing or something like that. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I do. It actually is changing, and it will impact the University of Nebraska. We have the nation's leading number of academic All-Americans, and based on how it's going to change, there will be certain schools that add very quickly to their total amount, and we will likely be surpassed, relatively soon. That's okay. We've got a great history and a great tradition, and if the rules change, the rules change. But from our perspective, we've led the nation for a long time. I had that chance to talk to all the student athletes. There are 110 FBS schools in the country, public, and Nebraska is number 2 in graduation success rate at 95%. So our fans should feel really good that this is a place that, of course, we're trying to win. But we're going to win at everything. And we've got students that are getting a high GPA. They're graduating on time at high levels. They're doing community service. And I think, when they leave this place and their eligibility is up, I think we've done our job to help them transition and be great citizens and serve our community.
One more before we go to our last break of the hour. Jake in Fremont says, do you see a day where the Big Ten maybe modernizes their name since the size of the conference is so big?
Well, I understand. I've thought about the same thing. Big Ten with 18 schools. But, the Big Ten is a brand. I don't know. That conversation has not come up, at the AD level or commissioner level. We probably got other things we're working on, but we'll see where that ends up going.
Very good. Thanks for the text. 402-413-2400 if you've got some thoughts and some questions for Trev. We've got a few minutes left on the program. Dorothy Lynch Homestyle, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. We're back with our final segment next.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
Do you need to relocate to a different city or state but don't know where to start? If so, put the power of BHA Real Estate to work for you. BHA will set you up with the best real estate agent in your new town. Have a house to sell first? No problem. They can assist you with that as well. With over 70 years of experience, BHA has a network to ensure one of the biggest transactions in life will be handled with care that you deserve and the service that you can trust. Give BHA Real Estate a call today for all your relocation needs. 308-324-5581.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Our planet, it's hungry. Blessed with millions of acres in this great nation, our farmers work tirelessly to feed the planet through seasons of uncertainty and seasons of growth. It's a tough business to do alone. As owners of Central Valley Ag, it's together that we move forward. There's room at the table. Find your seat at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Husker fans, we need your support in celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium while cheering on the Huskers this fall. Purchase an all-new Husker football Big Ten 3-game package today for only $100. This package gets you a ticket to the Northwestern, Purdue, and Maryland home games, all for just $100. A very limited amount of Husker football single-game tickets are also on sale. Tickets are only available while supplies last. Purchase yours today at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red!
Welcome back. Final segment of our Athletic Directors Show for the month of August, brought to you by Woodhouse. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands, 20 convenient sales, and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. 100 years of this glorious stadium. I know there's a book that has now come out. You're going to be selling some bench seats from some renovations a while back. There's a lot of fun things that are going to be happening this fall.
Yeah, a lot to celebrate at the stadium, a lot of history, a lot of tradition, a lot of things. Gives us an opportunity through the course of the year. I know marketing team's working really hard to kind of relive some of those moments and just really celebrate, what makes this place special, what makes it unique, and, what's part of the culture of Husker athletics. So I'm really excited about that. I think our fans are going to really like that. And more importantly, I think the best thing that we could do, Greg, to honor 100 years of this stadium is to have a football team that plays in a way in which our fans identify with. And let's be tough, let's be fundamentally sound, let's be disciplined, let's never quit, and let's play as a team. Those are things we can control. Those are things that Coach Rule's working really hard on. And I'm really hopeful that that'll be obvious to our fans. And I think that's the best way we can honor this place.
Well, I know you've been to a few practices. What are you observing? I mean, people want to hear.
Well, it's really hard. You know, I am very interested. I love going to practice, and I love to see the effort that's put in by those young men. I don't think the average person understands what we ask of our student athletes. And so what I see is, and you know, and Coach Rule talks to me about this all the time, you know, a lot of times when you go into a place the first year, you've got cultural issues, the guys don't want to buy in. And he said, Trev, that just isn't the case here. You know, I mean, these guys want to be great. They are hungry. They allow us to push them. We don't have any issues with that. And so that's been really good. We're working on very specific things, which I think are important, situational things, like how do you handle this? You know, just very fundamental things that I think we sometimes take for granted, details. So I like that. You know, I'm going to be really interested in seeing our defense. I think Tony White's got a good defense. I think our defensive front, you know, I like the havoc that they can create, this defense can create. I think it's going to cause a lot of negative plays. I think the one thing that, and again, I don't want to speak for Coach Rule, but, you know, he's been very keenly aware of that most coaches are, the turnover margin piece, I think is the undervalued and underplayed stat of every game. And I think Matt even said this publicly at one of his press conferences, that if you go back and you look at the last several years, there was 1 year where we actually won the turnover margin. And under Mike Riley, we won 9 games. Right. And so I think, you know, those type of details and fundamentals and paying attention to that. So I'm interested in the defense. I'm interested in the front because I like their movement and I like the havoc that they can create. I think we'll also probably that, you know, it's a risk-reward kind of defense. There might be big plays you give up at times too. And then I'm really interested in Gabe Ervin in our running game, and you know, seeing some of the effort there to reestablish the ability to run the ball. And if you want to be a physical football team, you know, you have to be able to do that. You have to practice that way. So I'm excited. You know, I know it's year one. We don't need to be getting too excited here, but the things we can control as best we can, I think Matt's really been focused on that. And so I'm confident we're going to have a team that plays really, really hard. I don't think we're going to be scared of anybody, and I think we'll play 4 quarters. That's a good start.
Got about a minute left. We don't have a home game for a while, but I expect, and I'm sure you do too, we'll see a lot of red in the stands in Minneapolis and in Boulder.
Well, it's one of the things that just continues to amaze me. I say this at every turn, but you know, don't challenge the Big Red, because we'll announce an outdoor game, and in 2 hours or 24 hours, we'll sell out 91,000 tickets. So, you know, I'm just grateful for the people that make that kind of commitment. I know there's going to be a lot of folks up in Minneapolis. There's, I think that's our sweet trip. So we've got a lot of donors that are heading up there. We've got a lot of folks up there, and then I know there's a lot of people finding their way into Boulder for that tilt as well. So excited, grateful for our fans, and we're going to do our part. As Matt always says, we want to have a team that our fans are proud of, and that's what we're working towards.
Good to see you. Glad we had something to talk about tonight.
We'll take a break.
Yeah. Have fun in the next week or so. It's going to be a lot of fun around here. Trev Albert's with us here tonight inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We have another hour of Sports Island. Next, we'll include a visit with Zach Potter. Jessica will join me after the break.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red! Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid materials with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn Help take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Calling all Husker fans. Woodhouse Auto Family is thrilled to be a sponsor of Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And to share the excitement, we're giving you a chance to win tickets. As the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics, Woodhouse takes great pride in supporting the Huskers and the passionate Nebraska fan base. And we want to see you in the Sea of Red at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. To enter for a chance to win tickets to the event and learn more, visit woodhouse.com today.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. UNL is the only Big Ten university in Nebraska, part of the only conference with an academic alliance. Being in the Big Ten means superior academics, unique student opportunities, better resources, and world-class research programs. With 72% of undergraduate students receiving scholarships or financial aid, UNL offers a Big Ten education at great value.
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. 6 Nebraska football players were named to the 2024 Senior Bowl watch list today. Offensive linemen Bryce Benhart and Ben Scott, running back Anthony Grant, defensive back Quentin Newsome, linebacker Luke Reimer, and defensive lineman Ty Robinson each earned a spot on the list. More information for Volleyball Day in Nebraska came out earlier today. Some of the new information included the announcement of a free bus service for fans from 4 different satellite sites in Lincoln. Those sites include Northwest High School, North Star High School, Gateway Mall, and South Point Pavilions. Transportation begins at 4 p.m., and the last pregame trip will leave at 6:30. After the game, buses will run from roughly 8:15 to 11:30. Additionally, Adidas in Nebraska announced the Rally at the Coliseum to celebrate this record-breaking day. On Wednesday, August 30th, from 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., fans can get geared up at the Adidas fan station, cheer with the band and spirit squads, and be the first to get official Volleyball Day gear. The Husker volleyball team is also scheduled to make an appearance around 12:30 for roughly 20 to 30 minutes. The event is free to attend and open to all ages. For more information on Volleyball Day, visit huskers.com. And finally, some Major League Baseball scores from earlier in the day. The Royals beat the A's 4-0. The Brewers defeated the Twins 8-7 in 10 innings. The White Sox defeated the Mariners 5-4 in 10 innings as well. And the Cardinals beat the Pirates 6-4. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
2 to the near side, 1 to the far side. Turn, give it off to Grant. He picks his way inside the 45, bounces to the outside. 40, 35, 30, foot race now. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Snap back to Van Treese. Play actions. Gets hit as he throws. Pass headed down the end zone. Buford goes up and makes the interception at the 1-yard line. Marquise Buford's second pick of the game, and it was created by some pressure on the quarterback, Van Treese.
Red, fed left. Lindsay gets a throw. They stand with it. And Krause muscles it through a double Buckeye block. Becca Williams, Spring Lake, Texas serves back right. Nice pass, quick attack. Becca, Alec, Big Red, kaboom!
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. We're back. Hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on a Wednesday night. Hope you enjoyed last hour. Always a pleasure to have Trev in studio for his monthly show, and a lot to cover. We hadn't been with him since May, and certainly there's been so much that has happened around college sports. And here in Nebraska, there was a lot in there in that 60 minutes.
Yeah, got a lot to talk about. Like you said, there's been some things happen, some news, but then some exciting events that are upcoming. So he's able to knock it all out. And I know he's really, really excited. And we were talking about this after the show ended about how believed the first initial thought to do this volleyball game inside the stadium started on this show because someone had called in or texted in asking about getting the record back from Wisconsin and what we could do. And so I think his wheels started turning after that. And then, boy, it's come to fruition, and here we are a week out. And I'm so excited for this fan base, this state. I know the team. Just every time I ask somebody about it it's a part of Nebraska volleyball, they just light up. Like the smile is just from ear to ear. And so I know that a lot of people are really excited to see this thing unfold.
Well, and I think he broke some news saying that NCAA President Charlie Baker is going to be in attendance, as well as Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti will be here as well. And, you know, if they get enough to eclipse the Rose Bowl record from USA Soccer from the World Cup in '99, it's a historic day, and it does. It's a huge celebration of women's sports, and it's just past the 50th anniversary of Title IX, but there's a lot of meaning behind it other than just 2 volleyball matches taking place inside the stadium.
Oh, absolutely. And just, you know, the way that so many people, the way that it took off the news when it was first announced that this is going to happen, and then when it sold out, and just how everywhere across the country it was a huge topic of discussion. And oh, look what can happen when you do support women's sports, when you do invest in women's sports. And, you know, also not only are we just coming off the 50-year anniversary of Title IX, but think about this, that we're going into the 100-year celebration of Memorial Stadium. Do you think when they built that stadium 100 years ago, they could have ever fathomed that this volleyball day was going to kick off, be the first event inside the stadium this year? How neat is that? And it's so great that this is what is allowed and is capable and is possible for women's sports here. And now you're seeing Iowa's going to do it with a women's basketball game. I know Patty Gasso at Oklahoma with softball had talked about, well, hey, can we do it inside our football stadium? And so it's just, you're setting the bar here at Nebraska, which is always done here when it comes to women's sports. But you're seeing, the bar set really high. And either way, even if it doesn't get to the World Cup, you're still going to set a collegiate record. There's still records that are going to be broken and set that probably might never be attainable outside of this collegiate record, a volleyball record. And so you're still talking about chasing records and certainly a USA record too.
That'll be really cool. Yeah, lot in there. A lot of information about, the new collaboration with UNMC. That was a big moment, I thought, in the hour too, to talk about that. And like I said to Trev, a lot of people will be going, yeah, why haven't they been working together? You're part of the same system. Why are you not providing those services to here? So finally, I think you got some adults in the room and figured that out, and it's going to be done. So that just adds to the care of all these student athletes. And
it's so important, and we've heard, he mentioned Coach Rule, and just how many times have we said it? Just, again, taking care of these student athletes and having female doctors. I've talked to...
She's my doctor, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember when I talked to...
Dr. Sellen, folks.
Angela Marcuzzo?
Macario,
sorry. Just had a brain fart there. And she had talked about how she's in the medical field and wants to be a doctor in athletics, and just the importance of that, because it's still not you don't see a lot of female doctors still in sports, and there's a lot of females that play sports.
Sure.
And so having that, and that's so important too. And just, why not use that resource if it's right there? So
that's really cool. Glad he was able to kind of announce that and break that with us on the hours. Well, and you have to ask him his thoughts on football. I mean, this is a guy who was a Butkus Award winner, a television broadcaster breaking down things, so it's always fun. I'm sure a lot of you would just prefer if we just did a full hour with Trev on football, but he's got a lot of topics to touch on and talk about as well. So, good to have him here in the program for an hour. And again, every month during the season, he'll be back with us.
And I think Coach Rule and his coaching staff like having him around, like his input, like that he's coming out to practice. If you watch the latest, it was an hour long, the documentary, the Hard Knocks type piece that's on YouTube. There's a portion of it that Trev was out at practice, and Coach Rule called him out and said, how many of you guys were drafted in the first round? And Trev was the only one and he came out there. And so, I think he, and then talking about redshirting and that conversation. And so I think Coach Rule and the staff also enjoy having his input and respect it a lot and appreciate it, and that he does care and but is also standoff. It's just, it's whatever you could tell he's, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. But it's not like he's imposing. And I think this coaching staff really appreciates that.
Husker football practice today, no media availability. In fact, the next media availability will be Friday, which will in essence be the pregame press conference from the head coach. They'll also make some players available Friday. With the Thursday game, it's kind of your start of your game week is on Friday. So we're 8 days out from that one. The weather forecast, if you're heading up there, and I talked to a lot of people that are driving up. A lot of them are driving up Thursday morning because you can get up there in plenty of time, have dinner, go to the stadium, go around the stadium, and go watch the game that night. Weather forecast is pretty good, mid-80s for highs that day. The one thing you kind of worry about this time of year, you hope you don't get some thunderstorms, and it looks like that we're fine in Minneapolis for that one as well. But no media availability today for the team, and I think they're starting to lock in, as we heard Coach Rule say last night, starting to look at Minnesota and start to put the game plan in.
It's exciting. I feel like, for as quickly as things move, I feel like this couple of weeks kind of drags every year during fall camp. Like, okay, let's get to game week, and we are finally about there, and we're talking about Cornhusker conversations, and it's so exciting that we're in the game broadcast and all of that. It's just, gosh, it's finally here. I'm so excited and so ready for it.
Should be fun. I'm still waiting for the last batch of single digits.
Yeah.
To drop. It's got to come before Friday, right? Maybe later tonight. A week ago, they did it right after we signed off.
Unless they did it after the scrimmage tomorrow night.
And they could.
Or leading into the scrimmage.
Yeah.
I bet it's tomorrow.
Almost has to be. Maybe the vote's going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. Maybe they are.
I can't wait. I think, to me, and we'll find out. This is all just speculation on my part. We'll find out how it ends up and which 3 guys. But the fact that 6 is still left, and I think, to me, it's pretty telling that some of the guys that, first of all, there's a lot of defensive players, but they have not gotten 6.
Q.
As I'm saying,
Yeah.
I feel like they're maybe leaving it open for him, which is pretty cool. That if that's how it is, that all these guys that are coming in, they want to make sure that they leave 6 for Quentin Newsom.
Let me throw a wild card at you. Brian Buschini.
I don't think he's going to change because he's wearing 18.
You don't think? He's a pretty popular
Well,
guy.
I guess if it's a team deal, he probably would. But I think he just switched to 18.
To wear Brooks' number?
Yeah. So
all right, maybe not.
But
it's a flyer.
But if he does get voted, maybe he would change because I think he picked 18 before he knew about the single digits. So, and if it's such a huge honor, and if the team votes a punter to wear a single digit, I think he'd probably do it. But I don't know. I know that it meant a lot to him to wear 18.
And again, I could be way, way off, but I just think that he's a guy that they've raved about since they got here.
Surely, and I know he shared his story and has meant a lot to a lot of the players on the team, but surely you got to throw in another offensive player in that bunch.
Yeah, no, there will be. I think Gabe Irvin has got a chance to get one.
Yeah, Gabe.
I think Quentin, Gabe, what are there, 3 left?
Yeah, there's 3. I think it's 8. Is it 8, 9, and 6? 6, 8, 9?
Yep.
So.
Or was there somebody already at 9? I can't remember.
Sims is 7, and then it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, yeah.
So I think it's 6, 8, 9.
On the text line, just heard you guys talking about the Hard Knock style program on YouTube, wondering if there was a 3rd one. Have I missed it, or is it soon to come out?
Came out last night.
Okay.
And it's an hour.
So last night it's dropped. So go on YouTube. You'll be able to find it. It is out and ready. All right, here's what we have this hour. Zach Potter is going to be a part of our Big Red Reaction this fall. We're going to rotate Josh Banderas, Zach Potter, and Tommy Armstrong. Zach was a black shirt for the Cornhuskers and then went on to have a career in the National Football League where he played tight end, but lives up in the Omaha area. We're going to talk to him, get his thoughts about Husker football and how excited he is to be a part of our broadcast crew here this fall as well. So that's coming up here in a few minutes, and we'll certainly want to get some reaction from you. Again, our phones are being persnickety with us, so the text line is working, though, 402-413-2400 if you want to fire up a comment. That way, we can certainly get that from you there as well. Right now, though, enjoy great value on outdoor power equipment from Steel, from gas-powered blowers, chainsaws, and more to high-performance pressure washers built to tackle the dirtiest jobs. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com, available at participating dealers. We're back with Zach Potter. It's coming up next.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastriode fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or at astriode.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. and tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail Taman 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, Husker Nation. This is Jim Baldonado with the Home Agency. It's been a stormy summer, but that's why we do what we do. Whether auto, home, crop, farm, or commercial coverage, our agents shine when it comes to providing you with the best coverage and customer service after the sale. Our passion is keeping you protected so you can do more of what you love, like cheering on the Huskers. Give us a call today. Call home, the Home Agency, that is, at 1-800-245-4241. That's 1-800-245-4241.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here, too. And we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. Engineering professor Ronald Faller has been named a Fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the highest professional honor among academic inventors. As director of UNL's Midwest Roadside Safety Facility, Faller has played a key role in developing innovative roadside safety technologies that are used around the world. Faller has earned 8 U.S. patents and 3 foreign patents over his 35-year career.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Come back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined tonight by former black shirt Zach Potter. joining us. He's going to be a part of our Big Red Reactions. He'll be handling a couple of those this season. We're excited about that happening. Zach, good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm doing great. Really looking forward to August 31st.
You know, one of the reasons, we wanted to get you on is to promote that you're going to be part of Big Red Reaction, but you went through a coaching transition at Nebraska, much like a lot of the upperclassmen are right now, going from one staff to a new one. What were some of the big adjustments when you think back from going from the Callahan era into the Bo era?
You know, I think the biggest things are just forming those new relationships with your position coaches, but also your head coaches. And then obviously changing a scheme, you know, for, say, those seniors that have been running the same system for 3 or 4 years now, having to adjust in that last year and make sure that you're going to be prepared for the game. And some of those little things, those nuances that are going to be taught differently from one coach to the other. But ultimately, as no matter what level you are age-wise, it's just it's having the buy-in and saying, hey, I got to turn the page. This is my new coach. I can't, say, hey, coach whoever used to do it this way, I need to do it this way. You have to be able to adapt to the new terminology, the new coaching, and take it in stride and do your best.
What do you make of some of the things he's done? I'm going to start with moving the team into the dorms for the first 2 weeks of practice.
It brings me back to some of my years in the NFL and training camp. We did that a couple of years when I was with the Jets. We went up to upstate New York and stayed in dorms. And, I actually really like it. It gets you out of your comfort zone of being at your house or your dorm or, wherever you're living in the summer there. But ultimately, it brings you together because your number one goal in training camp is to play football and learn football. And if you are kind of getting rid of some of those outside distractions that you deal with from if you're not in, say, a dorm, your whole goal is football. Eat, sleep, wake. You train to get ready for football. You eat, get the film study, go to practice, review the film, and then go to bed and do it all over again. And really, that's what training camp is. As much as people hate it, but that's really what training camp is to get ready for the season.
I don't think some of the bigger guys, and you're 6'7", I don't think they like the bed so much in Selleck Hall.
That is the biggest thing of dorms is just beds. I remember even when I moved into my dorm my freshman year years ago, it's just like, wow, this is a lot different than the bed that I had at home when I was in high school. So there's an adjustment there. But again, that's part of the mindset that Coach Rule is trying to establish. It's the get comfortable being uncomfortable and not having those excuses. Waking up and saying, hey, this is what I got to do.
All right, one of the other new things he's brought is this single-digit thing where guys are having to earn the single-digit numbers and voted on by the players. What do you make of that?
I think it's neat. I guess, fortunately, I was a defensive lineman, so I was never really that interested in a single-digit number. So, but at the same time, I do think it's a really neat tradition. I think it proves from a team standpoint that you have to go earn everything that you get. Nothing's going to be handed to you. And I think that's one of the neat things that will allow this team to grow and turn that page on, the previous years and look forward to the future and create new traditions as well as, having some of the previous traditions that have been in place before, as far as, the Unity Council, naming captains at the end of the season, letting a lot of guys do it. So there's a lot of things that I think he's bringing from a standpoint of the past, but also implementing some of his own traditions.
Again, visiting with Zach Potter. He's going to be a part of our crew, going to be handling a couple of the Big Red Reactions after Husker games this fall. All right, I got to ask you about this 3-3-5 defense. It's gotten a lot of buzz since Coach White was named the defensive coordinator. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about this?
Whether it's a 3-3-5, a 3-4, a 4-3, a 5-2, obviously those are just your base principles. Ultimately, you're going to line up in all sorts of different formations as a defense and show different people, whether you have a linebacker coming up or a nickel, having defensive ends drop. And so, it's going to be interesting to see how teams adjust to it. But for what I'm really looking forward to is just seeing how they really end up at the snap of the football, because that's really from your center and your quarterback making your line adjustments. That's how everything's going to be based off of. So we'll see how it turns out. Obviously, it's going to tinker with a little bit. I remember it's kind of like, if as a defense, if you had to go against an option quarterback for 1 week, it's a little wrinkle that's going to cause those offenses to spend a little bit of extra time during that week getting ready to play you, and so that's going to be an advantage to the Huskers, hopefully.
All right, they're about a week out from playing. We talked earlier about you going from one staff to another. Will communication be an issue in that first game, do you think? I mean, it's new for everybody. What should we tamper our expectations a little bit for the opener?
Well, I would think, unfortunately, our expectations, the bar's been lowered a little bit over the last several years. But, at the same time, I think Coach Rule has done everything you would want a new coach to do and more. And so I know myself included and many of my other Husker brethren we're drinking the Kool-Aid once again. So we're excited for that. I think the communication side of it, though, you've had enough time now through spring ball, summer conditioning, now training camp. If you don't know how to communicate game one on new staff versus old staff, then you're probably not playing. So I don't have any fear of them getting ready to communicate during the game. Just going to be the biggest thing that there will be is the in-game adjustments. You can prepare all you want for practice and mock scrimmages, but when you get in the heat of the battle and you come off the sideline and you're seeing different looks and maybe they just got a field goal or a long pass or you intercepted it, it's just that communication on the sideline and making the adjustments after each quarter, after each series, or most importantly, the halftime adjustments where you get to really sit down with your team.
Again, visiting with Zach Potter. He's going to be a part of our broadcast here this fall. I've not had this discussion with you before. So you finish your playing days in Nebraska, you go to the NFL, and they move you to offense. How did that happen? Take me through that. What was that like?
Ultimately, the NFL taught you that football's a job. And so when I got released from the Jets, I was still a defensive end. I came back to Lincoln for about 2 weeks. The Jaguars said, hey, we're going to bring you down to Jacksonville as a tight end. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, really? Like, there's no way this is going to work. But hopefully my voice on the phone to the general manager at the time was very excited. I was looking forward to the opportunity. The neat thing was going down to Jacksonville, I don't know how much of a chance I really gave myself to make the transition, but turned it into a nice little career and had a lot of fun doing it with some great teammates. We didn't have the most success in Jacksonville when I was there, but it's pretty fun watching them now. I know that.
Yeah, they're good. I think they're set up for a big fall. Well, and I think that's what you're going to be great for us, bringing that perspective from both sides of the football. You're going to be able to break that down really well. I can't wait to hear you. I believe we're going to debut you after the Colorado game in a couple of weeks. Update everybody on what you're doing now. What's the life of Zach Potter like now?
So I help run an audiovisual company here in Nebraska called CCS Presentation Systems. So we sell projectors, TVs, control systems, audio systems, everything from a boardroom, a conference room, or a classroom. So all that good stuff, that technology needs to be used in all sorts of different fashions. So it's been really good for me. I've been doing it now 9 years next month. It's allowed me to get out and meet a lot of people, network with a lot of people, and talk a lot of Husker football. So it's been a lot of fun.
How about your family? You got young kids, don't you?
I do, yep. I have a 9-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son, and a 5-year-old son, and then my wife and I have been married about 12 years now. So it's been a good post-college life. I feel like I'm starting to grow up a little bit, but the fun thing is being able to do a show like this season brings me back to all my football roots, whether it's in the NFL, college, or even high school. So it's always fun to talk shop.
Any future Huskers in that young group?
The funny thing is my wife says we have this rule that our kids need to go out of state for college. And so I always joke that we're just going to move across the river to Council Bluffs since we live in Omaha so that they can go down to Lincoln. So we'll see how that goes down the road. But hopefully they can be future Huskers.
Zach, it's a big year here because we're celebrating 100 years of this stadium. Do you remember the first time you came to this stadium? Do you have a memory of that at all?
So I have a really pretty neat story. So my dad, back in the day when I was a young tyke, helped run Valley Ice Company, which delivered all the ice to the concession stands throughout the stadium before a game. And so this was back before plastic bottles. And so the amount of ice that we would deliver to every concession stand throughout the stadium to fill the plastic cups to put your Coca-Cola in it. We would always be out there and delivering ice, and obviously I was just along for the ride and riding on the carts that would get the ice to the concession stands. But then afterwards, when we wrapped up before a game, usually it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours before a game, we would go down on the field sometimes, the old AstroTurf, and and play catch and just kind of hang out because we were in there as a vendor. And so we kind of had passes to kind of get around everywhere. And then we'd go down to the Valley Ice plant and then come back and watch the game. So I've been coming to football games a long time. Sometimes it was kind of the Rudy experience, if you will, of being at the stadium when you weren't supposed to be or when people weren't really expecting it. But always really good memories hanging out with my dad and a lot of other family members at those times.
That is fantastic. You played in a lot of football stadiums in your career, both in college and the pros. This one's probably got to be toward the top, right? It's held up really well.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It's awesome to see what the stadium's been able to do. Obviously, depending on what locker room you were in. I started in the south. I went to the north. Now they're obviously moving to the northeast corner there. It's just such a cool place that so many people get to visit and experience. And obviously, when we're winning and the fans are there, that place can get rocking. Especially those night games. You throw in that light show after the third quarter. Sometimes it's a great place to play a football game and experience one for sure.
Well, they haven't let me in the locker room yet. I saw an old teammate of yours today, Blake Lawrence, who just came from there, and his eyes were bug eyes. He said it's unbelievable. He goes, it's about 3 times bigger than the current one, and the current one's pretty nice as well. But I can't wait for you to come down and see it. And Zach, I can't wait for you to be doing some Big Red reactions. You and Matt Cote, you'll be fantastic. It's great to have you part of the team.
Really looking forward to it. Should be a great year.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun to hear him on some of the Big Red reactions this fall. Zach Potter, former black shirt, and then played tight end in the National Football League. He joined us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Jessica will rejoin me next.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Allergy season is officially here. Your home should be a place where you can escape dust, pollen, and other allergens, but every time you enter your home, you bring them inside. John Henry's offers numerous products to remove allergens and germs from your home. Call John Henry's today to learn more about our indoor air quality products to breathe easier in your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
There's a new kind of season ticket when you fly from the Lincoln Airport, the official airport of the Huskers. Now at LNK, choose from fast, affordable, non-stop flights to your favorite vacation spots. All from an airport that's relaxed and hassle-free. It's never been easier to get off the bench and enjoy an adventure with the whole family. Visit GoFlyLNK.com and book your trip today. Let's go.
Hy-Vee makes grocery shopping easy with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Just order online, schedule a pickup or delivery time, then leave the shopping to us. Download the Hy-Vee app or go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. It's easy to create and save grocery lists, shop the sales, and get fuel savers. Plus, with Hy-Vee Aisles Online, pickup is free on orders over $24.95, and delivery is free with the Hy-Vee Plus membership. Save time, shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online.
There are a lot of rates out there, and it can be tough to find the right one. Well, let's make it easy. With FNBO's special offer CD of 5.5% APY for 7 or 17 months, you can earn more, save more, and do more. That's 5.5% annual percentage yield for 7 or 17 months at your nearest FNBO location with a minimum deposit of $500 and an FNBO Premier checking account. So stop on by and give your savings a great big boost with the Great Big Small Bank. FNBO, member FDIC.
Calling all Husker fans. Woodhouse Auto Family is thrilled to be a sponsor of Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And to share the excitement, we're giving you a chance to win tickets. As the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics, Woodhouse takes great pride in supporting the Huskers and the passionate Nebraska fan base. And we want to see you in the Sea of Red at Volleyball Day in Nebraska. To enter for a chance to win tickets to the event and learn more, visit woodhouse.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Road Townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red!
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
SOS to the rescue! SOS to the rescue!
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Oh, but he can't make it because he's so hot. The air conditioning is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling his favorite Luxair dealer. Trusted since 1950, with Luxair you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
We're back inside of our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Thanks to Zach Potter for being with us. So excited to be able to add him and Josh Banderas and Tommy Armstrong to our lineup for Big Red Reaction. I think getting different perspectives from week to week will be really interesting.
Yeah, it will be. And different offense, defense. I'm excited about it. And Josh and Zach were both great. I mean, that's my first time hearing from either one of them. I think they're going to have a great perspective, and they both seem really excited about being a part of it. So,
yeah. And Zach's going to be pretty odd. I mean, how many guys play one side of the ball in college football and change in the NFL? Can't be very many.
So that's a great perspective that he's going to be able to provide.
I mean, I'm sure there are others.
Yeah.
But I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I'd have to put that in. But we're looking forward to that. Josh will be with Coat after the Minnesota game. Zach will be with Matt after the Colorado game. We're trying to piece it together. Tommy's coaching some high school football here in town, and so his schedule's a little bit more tight until the high school season gets over. But looking forward to having all those guys on here as well. Tim and Kearney on our text line said, I don't care about – I love this. I don't care about any other game. Beat Colorado. I hate that state. I hate the team. I even have a cousin who lives in Denver, and I'm not sure I really like her. Isn't that great?
That is hilarious. I love that.
That is great. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be – Huskers are going to take over that stadium. It's going to be impressive when we play out there. But first, we have the Gophers.
Yes. So Joel Klatt is saying that Colorado is going to split in their first two games?
They play at TCU week 1 and then the Huskers week 2. And Joel Klatt, a Colorado Buffalo guy, he played quarterback there, has been on the record says they will at least get a split of those first 2 games.
Has Joel even called a Colorado game recently? Because they haven't been relevant enough to be on big noon kickoff.
It's a good question.
So, Kirk Herbstreit has called Ohio State, and a lot of people say he's overboard trying to not
be a favorite.
Favored, show favoritism towards Ohio State. So we haven't really seen this from Joel Klatt.
No, we have not.
And he's put it out there.
I'm a big Joel fan. I like him
too.
a lot.
I really am too. And he's been a big fan of Nebraska recently. He's come in and has had a lot of great things to say, and he's a big fan of Coach Rule. So I am fascinated to see how he is going to approach this game, because he has a lot of respect for Nebraska and for Coach Rule, but then, hey, that's his alma mater, and he wants them to win too. So it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches calling this game.
Colorado's fascinating to me. I mean, the massive roster turnover. If it works, I don't know if that's good for the sport. If it works, but I could see it being I don't know. I don't think it's going to work this year. I think maybe after time he might get that thing flipped, but I don't know.
It's funny. My mom was asking me about it at lunch today, and I'm like, it's just nobody really knows about Colorado yet, because there is such turnover that it's hard to say exactly how they're going to be until we see them run out there for the first game.
I'll be watching because we play Thursday. We'll get Saturday. I'll definitely tune in and watch some of their game.
Yeah.
Got to scout.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You going to watch any football this weekend?
Yeah, I will.
Notre Dame Navy. I'll watch that one.
Yeah, that will be Notre Dame will pack that stadium there.
It's sold out.
Yeah.
It has sold out. So
hopefully they don't have any problems with the beer again this year.
Well, the concession stands
they couldn't take credit cards, and so they're just giving away free beer. It's the longest beer snake I've ever seen.
Oh, my gosh. I felt awful for the organizers because they lost so much revenue off of that. That's too bad. Those people were really nice.
They were great. They were really nice. Just the game just did not turn out how it was supposed to.
Nope, it did not. The chat room guys, they're doing picks this week. We're holding off because it's actually titled Big Ten Picks, but they're so excited. They're picking
They've been
games
talking about it since November 17th. It gets brought up like every week, the picks.
All right, and I have, as commissioner, I have made a ruling that we'll have one of our student interns pick each week.
Okay.
They can rotate, but I'm not going to have that's too much to add up all the results.
So while you were gone and Searles was filling in, he's adamant that he's going to be in this year.
I got to consider that.
Because he thinks he's got to put a stop to my run, that he's the only one that can do that.
I'll have to consider that. What do you think? Let him in or not? Man, last year he walked away from us.
Well, he was not. We got to figure out if he's just going to send him in. Is he going to join us? What are we going to do?
I know. I mean, how dedicated is he to this thing? I mean, is it just cherry pick when he wants to come on board?
I mean, I'm just posing it to you. He wants to be back a part of it.
All right, you tell him that I will take a day or two to consider it. It's under consideration.
Does he need to send in some points, a resume and all of that?
That probably wouldn't hurt. That probably would not hurt his case to do that. We're a week. Actually, we will do our first pick show after the Minnesota game. We have a Friday show that week. That's when we'll do our Big Ten picks because we don't pick the Husker game. So we'll do our picks on Friday next week.
It's here, first of all, but then it's also going to be a little bit weird because Wednesday, Thursday, we got volleyball, football, and then we'll actually have a show. We'll have a party show on Friday.
Party show, indeed.
And are you going to include Cole's joke of the week on the Friday party show?
No, Cole's staying on Thursday night, so we'll have tomorrow night. Cole has 24 hours to figure it out. And you missed last week's.
Yes.
And you were better for it.
Okay. He had a down week last week?
He got 4s and 5s from the crowd.
Well, apparently I'm the one that challenges him to raise his game because he's been solid when he's on with me. So maybe you need to be better, Greg.
I have nothing to do with his picks of jokes. It's totally on him. I could not end that segment quick enough.
So, his dad, Kirk, works with the Husker Vision, and I was chatting with him. So we're going to do, Facebook Live again. And so we were going over a few things and TV show and everything. And I was like, have you heard about this joke of the week? He hasn't even heard it. I think that's disappointing.
Is he living under a rock? I mean, everybody knows about this.
I know. I was like, it's the hottest segment to take over sports radio. And
we're getting asked about it at Valentino's golf tournaments and all this kind of stuff.
So I told him to get with the program, that he better listen on Thursday nights.
Crazy. Text question, is there any word yet on the estimated time frame of the volleyball day ending, including the concert? Well, let's say the Huskers and Mavericks match goes to 9, maybe it doesn't go quite that long. You probably have 30 minutes between when it ends and the concert. I think it'll all be over by 11, wouldn't you think? By 11, you probably shut it off.
Yeah.
When did Garth end?
Oh, I can't remember. You and I have a bad memory. You're asking the wrong person. But
I think Garth was over by 11.
Yeah. So we did a full sit down too. If you missed it, it's out on YouTube and our social media platforms with the Brandon Meyer with marketing, and then Matt Davidson, who's events, and Lindsay Peterson, who's director of operations for Nebraska volleyball, kind of talking through the logistics of how the planning went and everything. And Brandon said that the Scotty McCreary's team is really, really excited to be a part of this.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That they've been great to work with, and that I think they think it, because
90,000 people are going to be there.
Yeah. Well, and probably could very well, unless he's opened up for somebody, probably the biggest crowd that he's played in front of. But they also think it's really cool that this is the event that he's getting to be a part of. So
great. Hey, folks, buckle up. Put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Crypto says the over-under on Cole's joke is 5. Woo! It's a low bar.
Tomorrow?
Every week.
That's pretty, that's low. Cole, you can beat a 5.
Man. Low bar of expectations for Cole. Final break. Back to wrap it up next.
America, it's time to gear up and get out there in a new Ford vehicle. And it all starts at your local Ford dealer during the Discover Summer Sales Event. Choose from a great selection of trucks and SUVs equipped with the tech and comfort you need to discover your best summer ever. With a large inventory in stock, now is the best time to trade in, trade up, and discover summer with Ford. Now get 3.9% financing for 66 months plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 and F-150 Lightning. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If unwanted hair is putting you in a prickly situation, give laser hair removal a try. Milan Laser Hair Removal delivers smooth, hair-free skin with permanent results for men and women of all skin tones. So there's no more unwanted stubble, razor burn, or ingrown hairs. Visit any of Milan Laser's 7 Nebraska locations to get 1 free treatment. Ready to never shave again? Call 833-NO-RAZOR or visit MilanLaser.com to book your free treatment and consultation. That's MilanLaser.com.
Only in Nebraska will you find a historic, record-breaking event like Nebraska Volleyball Day to honor women's athletics. The University of Nebraska Foundation invites you to be a part of Only in Nebraska, a campaign for our university's future. Another historic, record-breaking effort to engage 150,000 donors to build the future Nebraska needs right now. It's all possible, and it's all happening here, only in Nebraska. Give to support in you at onlyinnebraska.org.
Meet water's bubblier and more energetic best friend, Bubbler Antioxidant Sparkling Water. With tons of flavors, there's one for every occasion. Interviewing for your dream job, hitting the beach, or going on an epic road trip? Pop the top on your favorite Bubbler flavor and awesome antioxidants swoop in to balance your body and focus your mind. Right before a boost of natural caffeine shows up to save your day. There's a benefit in every bubble and a happier you just waiting to rise up. Find out more at Drink Bubbler on Instagram.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. 26 Husker students presented research findings on nuclear deterrence to a panel of U.S. Strategic Command officials at STRATCOM headquarters in Bellevue. The student-led presentation was the culmination of a semester of STRATCOM-guided research and the latest in a years-long partnership between STRATCOM and the National Security Studies program at Nebraska.
Woodhouse Auto Family, trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations, making car buying on your terms. Go visit them online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody, final few minutes of our Wednesday show. Tomorrow night, John Cook's first volleyball show. That'll be in hour 1. We'll be back then for hour number 2. So you get the Johns tomorrow night. John Cook, John Bader.
Anchoring the star-studded lineup of Sports Nightly guests.
How about that? I'm not sure you can do much better than Matt Rural, Trev Albert, John Cook. Back-to-back-to-backs.
Yeah. It's been an awesome week.
Again, the football show is going to Tuesday nights. That's a switch from a year ago, and John Cook, who had been occupying Tuesdays, is flipping to Thursday nights. So Coach Rural kind of wanted to make some tweaks and changes, and so we've accommodated. That's why the change.
Hey, at least he's still coming on.
And thanks to Coach Cook for being willing to flip over to Thursday nights. Mike in Grand Island said, even odder than Potter, the Nebraska basketball forward who got drafted and played tight end in the NFL in the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember his name, but he played for either Buffalo or New England. Mike, I don't know who that is. I've been thinking, I don't know, maybe somebody else remembers who that was. I don't remember that. So I may have to do some research. Maybe somebody in our audience knows who Mike's referencing. I can't think of a name of who that is. So we'll see. All right, tomorrow night.
I definitely wouldn't know, sorry.
Tomorrow night, we're going to hear from Huskers have hired some new tennis coaches, right?
Yes, we have a couple of interim head coach and Coach Cobelt, and we're going to hear from him and his new assistant and young up-and-comers that were a heck of players, collegiate players themselves, so we're going to talk to them and, get to know a little bit about the direction that men's tennis program is headed. We will have that tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last show of the week. Husker volleyball bumps us off Friday night. They've got their season opener against Utah State at the Bob. 6 o'clock first serve, 5 o'clock for pregame coverage with JB and Lauren. They play 3 matches over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then get ready for the big match in the stadium against Omaha next Wednesday night. So tomorrow night, we'll talk a little tennis. Soccer tomorrow night, too, on the road. They play Portland State. Is that tomorrow? Eastern Washington, then Portland State later in the weekend. So Gonzaga on Sunday. Oh, where did I get Portland State? I don't know. And also tomorrow night's the over-under line of 5 for the joke. Cole, I'm going to need you to deliver. That's a really low bar. Goodness gracious. Cole, I would kind of be a little offended by that. He feels nothing. He feels nothing. We had some questions last night, again, about miking the press conferences. Nebraska Athletics is aware of it. They're getting close to having the new media room open in the Big Red facility, and so that is not going to be a problem soon. I know Coach Rural saw that. We had a text last night that came in about that. That seems to come up a lot. Everybody knows about it. Right now they're doing it out in the concourse. You really can't mic the reporters in the concourse. Yeah, because they're having to set it up and tear it down, and there's just not a mic that you can do that with. So hopefully with the new media room, it will make it more conducive to that. And I know it's something I hear. I feel like it's one of the most frequent questions that I get and we get on the text line, and they're working on it. Hopefully very soon. The new room will take care of all of that. Doug in Norfolk says it might be Nate Turner. That sounds right, Doug. I think you're onto it about the player who played basketball in Nebraska and ended up going being an NFL player. That has happened a lot. Antonio Gates, the great tight end of the San Diego Chargers, played college basketball. He did not play college football. Played at Kent State and ended up being a Hall of Famer in the National Football League. All right, that's going to put a wrap tonight. Thanks to the athletic director for spending an hour with us here tonight. Thanks to Camden and Cole, and to all of you for being a part of the show. We're joining you again tomorrow night. We'll be with you in hour 2, JB and John Cook in hour 1 tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day-by-day donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Spot less. Introducing the cleanup for tar spot, gray leaf spot, southern rust, and more. Novel next generation Adastrio fungicide broadens your spectrum and strengthens your residual when it comes to foliar disease control in corn. Visit your FMC retailer or adastrio.ag.fmc.com to clean up this season. Follow 2EE for tar spot management in corn. Valid until 1/31/28. Always read and follow all label directions.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything.